What's up, Blade fam? Today we're going to be doing a trick tip tutorial on front and back torques with the grab. If you'd like to learn how to do this trick, stay tuned. We're going to get into that starting now. So a prerequisite to this trick is going to obviously be a front full torque and a back full torque, or front and back Farfanugans, depending on where you're from and what you call it. When we learned how to do a front full torque, I talk about having this motion of bringing your hands to the side. So what it's creating is kind of like this balance point for you to get into these tricks. A lot of times when I see people who are just learning this, they tend to just jump at the ledge, putting them over the top, which leads to wheel bites and falls. So there's a little bit of a cheat code, I guess you could say, to this trick. The cheat code is knowing what side of the edge you want to be on. So for example, if I'm doing a front torque, I know that I want to be on this side of the edge. So as I'm approaching, I bring my hands slightly to the left, then to the right. As I'm jumping, it creates a centered point for me to balance on. Another tip that I'd like to suggest is to have not only this pendulum of balance, but also forward and back. So on a front torque, it would be left, right, forward, back. Do that again. Left, right, forward, back. And it creates this point of balance. You're centered on that foot. And the same could be said on a back torque. So if I was performing a back torque and this line was the obstacle, now I know I want to be on this side of the edge, not that side. So I'm going to go right, left, jump. And that's going to put me again centered, but this time on the outside or the back side of the ledge. You're going to still play around with that forward and back point of balance. These tricks, these one-footed tricks, are kind of like you're a joystick, you know? So you have to find that center of balance for yourself. Another thing that I want to talk about before we get the skates on is just having a good pistol squat. That's going to be, again, performed, just kidding, like this, and back up. And then same thing with the other leg. Now these types of exercises are going to lead to understanding balance. Now you can do them with your arms out or your arms tucked, or you can have them out in front of you. But these exercises teach you how to stabilize against your downward pressure in your foot, which is going to convert over into doing different types of front torques or back torques. Okay, we're going to start with the front torque. So again, this line here is my obstacle. I'm going to perform a grabbed front torque. Now again, we're going to have that left, right, forward, back. And it becomes like this leaning point. When you're reaching for this foot, this hand is kind of like driving your energy where you're going to go. You're going to want this hand to be on the outside of the obstacle. If it goes over the obstacle, what happens is you begin to turn. And you know, there's different positions in a front torque. Sometimes you'll see people perform them and they're very sideways. And those look really good. And there's a time and a place to do those. But eventually what starts happening is you start turning over and it kind of starts landing somewhere in between a front torque and an alley-oop macchio. The front torques that I personally like to perform are where my chest is facing the obstacle and I'm grabbing as such. So to perform that grab, it's got a little bit of a Z. You're gonna go left, right, forward, back, grab. And this hand is gonna be on the outside of the obstacle. Same thing can be said for the back torque. We're gonna just flip that. So again, this line is my obstacle that I'm skating. I'm gonna flip-flop the directions because I wanna be on this side of the obstacle. I'm gonna go right, left, forward, back, hand reaching for the inside of the edge. Now this is all theoretical. You don't necessarily have to throw your hands around when you're skating. This is just something to think about, how you're channeling your energy into that trick. Of course, when learning it, perhaps use those hands. I know skating is done with the feet, but there's a lot to be said with having the proper placement in your arms and hands. Also leads to really nice looking tricks. Having your arms in control while performing whatever grinds you're doing, just makes them look cleaner and smoother. Okay guys, that's enough talk. Let's go ahead and get the skates on. Really excited to be teaching this trick to you guys. Let's get it. Okay, let's start talking about the lock. It's one thing to perform this motion with your shoes on. I think there's a place and space for that. I talk about this thing called blade chi, and it's really just practicing skating without your skates on. You can do it with your skates on, but just with your shoes and learning the balance. Now that we've got our skates on, we're gonna actually be performing that lock. So again, when I'm approaching my obstacle in front torque, I'm thinking left, right, forward, back. And this is gonna put a nice balance point in my ability to just lock my foot in there, and I'm kind of like centered by doing these movements. So I'm coming up to the obstacle, thinking and moving left, right, forward, back. All in one. Going again. One more time now with a grab. Forward out. Perform as many stalls as you need. That's something that really helps with just getting confident in the movement later, is just knowing you're gonna lock it on properly and that you've got your lock-ins down. Back torque, same thing. Now I'm approaching from this side. So I'm standing here, right, left, up. One more time, right, left. And you can see that balance is in the arms. Use your arms to create where you wanna be, and you will be there. Let's go with a grab. Again, right, left, up, down. One more, right, left, up, fakie. That was fun. Let's get some slides. So we got a couple front torques in. I did one there to show you the difference between, I guess, body placement. There's one front torque where you can look where you're going and you're riding, leaning forward. And there's another one that's a little more sideways and you're turning into the obstacle and you're gonna more than likely go fakie. I prefer the first one. I perform the second version quite often as well. When it comes to like doing it on a down rail or anything like that, I rather be looking where I'm going than throwing my back at something. A quick tip when this trick is feeling weird or you just missed it, just put your foot down. That's easy to say on this type of obstacle. Changes of course when you're doing higher rails and such, but really that's the ticket. If you're on this and you're like, whoa, just put that foot down and transfer your weight. That's where those pistol squats become very useful, is because you're able to just put your foot down on each side and it's not that big of a deal. Now when performing a back torque, the motions are similar, the placement is similar. We were just talking about when you begin to turn on a front torque and it kind of looks like an alley-oop macchio. But on a back torque, when you begin to turn, you're actually more committed in that trick. So instead of it being off into the front here, your foot, this foot is kind of over here, you actually commit and pick that foot up and you turn your shoulders and become parallel with the obstacle, leading to a fakie. Both are awesome tricks. Experience both. Try both and see which one works for you. Again, these are all just my ideas on it. It's not the way, just a way. Let's go get some torques on some other obstacles. Now, depending on what type of skates or skate setups you have, I did learn this trick in anti-rocker. I find it a lot easier and, you know, less consequences. But once I went flat, I had to relearn the trick and really understand like where I wanted my groove to be, and just body placement, foot placement, kind of changed a little bit. Not by much, but notable. So maybe if you're first learning these tricks, go ahead and pull out the wheels in the middle. If you're flat, or if you have anti-rocker wheels, you know, try that first. Another thing or key point to remember is that downward pressure. I have a lot of friends that skateboard, and I was out here at this park one evening skating with my friend Bobby, and I was watching him just do crooks. This guy's an amazing skateboarder. I was able to learn something from him, and it was just the way he was pushing down into that foot. So remember to have that downward pressure. You have to own this trick. You can't kind of be soft in it. It's very important to have like a good solid pressure down into that foot, and you're thinking of like staying in that down pressure and allowing the speed to carry you away or carry you further. Speed is another thing that is important in this trick. You can do them slow, and that's a whole different experience. I tend to go a little faster at this trick. I like to have just the momentum I need to carry me across the duration of the obstacle. So let's go after something a little bit longer and see what we got. All right, so grabbed, freestyle, kicked out, doesn't matter. If you're having fun, do what feels fun. Of course, the grab is always gonna be that icing on the top. We know why the grabs are, but if you don't wanna do them, don't do them. I don't do them. 90% of my front torques are just freestyle, but I'm having fun. Okay, that's gonna put a close to today's tutorial. Quick tips to remember to have that center of balance. Develop that, left, right, or right, left, forward, back. Find your place of balance. Another tip would be, of course, to make sure you wax the obstacle. This trick particularly, you're kind of going against the momentum with your boot, so you kind of want that thing to slide well. Another tip trick would be to go and groove your skates. These skates are my new Crofts. I haven't grooved them or skated a street ledge yet, and I can tell a difference between these and some of my older models. Having a nice groove in there is going to help you lock in, of course, better. I had a lot of fun doing this, guys. Thank you so much. If you'd like to help support this channel, consider being a Patreon. I will be creating a fall workout program coming up here very shortly for my patrons only. So if you'd like to participate or support this channel, consider joining. Another option would be to purchase an Acosta Blades t-shirt. Any of these things help us go and make more events and just be able to make more videos, really. I know some of you have noticed kind of a decline in my videos, and you know, I'm just working more, and so I don't have the time to make the videos like I did before, but I'm still trying. So if you'd like to support us, we appreciate all that. You can even just hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, get out, practice the front and back torque, have fun, grab them if you like, free if you don't. Till next time, guys, keep the blade alive. Aloha.